People of the internet, I am the Efkin guy, and today I'll be talking to Captain J. Spaulding about his mother issues. As Tolga own presents, Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer.
I want a divorce.
What?
He's been working on a new book. How long's it been?
4 years. It's been 4 years.
Keane O'Hara, your new book. It's about a serial killer. I'm the person for the job. I'm a retired serial killer. What the
How's this gonna work?
I'm going to teach you what killers do.
So you'll be like a counselor.
Who are you?
Well, I'm a counselor.
I'm sorry, I was not expecting my husband to bring a marriage counselor to our home.
A marriage counselor? Okay then. You are in a safe zone. Shall we begin?
It actually makes sense. They say that most killings of women were done by someone that they know.
How was your day?
Maybe he thinks I'm trying to kill him.
What do you mean by that?
Tick. Tock. Tick. Am I gonna die? Tock. Tick. Will I survive? Tock. Tick. You, Tock, are going, tick, to die. Tock. Okay, I think we can wrap up today's session.
Wait, what just happened?
They would kill each other for the film rights for this.
Film rights.
I didn't know what to say. Up comes potatoes.
What are you talking about?
Marriage is a living organism. It can grow or die.
This will be the best thing I have ever written. I even thought of a title.
What is it? Nice.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to take a seat, maybe lie down on the couch. Captain J. Spaulding, tell me about your mother.
Oh, fucking hell. didn't know we were going straight.
Wanted to go
Didn't
light.
know we were going straight into Freud. She's a lovely old girl. Fell out of bed and broke her hip recently.
Recently?
Yeah, didn't tell me for 8 weeks because she thought I'd tell her off.
Yes, you're at least seeing like some specialists for this.
I mean, she went to the hospital.
Yeah, that's good.
Didn't just have a broken hip for 8 weeks at home. Really.
Well, you say that, but then some people's parents do have that and just let it fester and get even worse, and now
that's my
can't
dad.
leave the house.
That's my dad does that. My mum is more sensible. My dad super glues a tooth back on after he snaps it and gets a massive gum infection. True story.
Yeah, today. Any other true stories about your parents that are quite worrying that would lead to therapy needed?
There's
later
loads.
on?
I'm not sure I want to put them out on the podcast. Though. I think you've heard most of them over the years.
Yeah.
Like when my mum made bolognese out of a sex carrot.
That's the one. That's the one. Go, tell it. Go on.
So
I'm sure she'll be.
She ain't going to listen. Fucking I think she told you, if I'm quite honest. So yeah,
maybe.
I think we did drink a lot in those days, and it was the good stuff too. It was like Napoleon cognac. That was fucking banging.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was like, I don't know, 12, 13 or something at the time. And my dad had invited round a friend who my mum hated and who'd sort of invited himself round to dinner. And we didn't have a lot in. So basically my dad went, oh, you can make a bolognese. We have mince and vegetables. It just turned out that at least a couple of the vegetables had been in her earlier that day. So she made basically bolognese that I wasn't allowed to eat, by the way. They made me get takeaway. I found all this out later. But yeah, so she made a bolognese with a fanny carrot, essentially. Well, I assume it was Fanny. She might have been quite forward thinking. It might have been my dad, for all I know. It could have been Peg. But one way or another, those carrots had been inserted into orifices and not washed and then chopped into a bolognese. Fuck knows what she did with the mince.
So now knowing this, have you ever been to therapy?
No. The thing is, therapy is for people who repress those memories, not people that tell them gleefully on podcasts.
That is true. That's true. Podcasts are the modern day therapy. Just, without the certificate on the wall.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be called oversharing. Yeah. Now it's called content. I used to get told off for it. Now people listen out of choice. Not many, admittedly, but more than used to.
Yeah, I won't go for the advertisements now. No. Fred's vegetables.
Clyde's organic.
Big days fruit.
Clyde's organic cucumbers.
Yeah, I haven't been to therapy, but I have got a friend who is a therapist, and they're the ones who got in touch when I was mentioning about quitting drinking, and they sent me a recommendation for the book, which led to me actually giving up for good. Big irony of this is that they were the friend who I would only meet on nights out when we would get completely fucking wasted, and she was only quitting because she was having a baby.
So she's back on the booze then.
Great
probably.
Therapist. Very likely. But yeah, today's film is about therapists and serial killers. So, which serial killer would be the best therapist, do you reckon?
No, that's a good one. Best therapist. I don't know, I don't know best, but funniest would probably be Gacy in full pogo regalia. Particularly if he got changed while you were on the couch and you couldn't see him. Then you look around and there's Pogo the clown sitting in his chair. That'd be brilliant. I don't know if it helped with any childhood trauma, particularly if it's clown related, but it'd be funny for me.
That's true. Dharma?
Yeah, I was thinking Dharma because he was quite an empathetic sort, apart from the murder and cannibalism, but
yeah, he just wanted a friend.
And he wanted to keep him with him forever. Or until he did a poo anyway. Because that's how that works.
He wouldn't have been so into the killing if someone actually sat and spoke to him,
No, this is true. He had
Jeff,
to
come around for dinner later.
Penis stew. That's a real reference for those that don't know. When they found his apartment, when they eventually arrested him after getting away with it for ages, they just found a big pot of penis stew.
Goes back to the start of the show.
Yeah, my mum didn't make them yet.
Penis and fanny carrot stew.
Yeah, I think Dharma would be good. Maybe no, H. Holmes would be awful.
Yeah, Bundy would be good to go drinking with,
Yeah, but as long as you weren't an attractive young brunette.
Yeah.
He had a pretty specific type.
Again, maybe if he had a good mate to go out drinking with and sort of said, no, Ted, don't do that. Don't do the murders.
Carl Panzram. He just terrify you into being fine.
Yeah, I go with that.
Most terrifying man ever.
Yeah, this is psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decides to write about serial killers. Keane, a struggling writer with writer's block, watches his marriage to Suzie fall apart after she announces she wants a divorce. A bizarre man claiming to be Keane's biggest fan and a retired serial killer enters their lives. When a misunderstanding leads Suzie to think the stranger is a marriage counsellor hired by her husband, Keane sees an opportunity. He agrees to write a book about the killer, just as long as he plays along as their new counsellor. Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decides to write about a serial killer, stars Steve Buscemi, Fargo, Reservoir Dogs, Con Air, The Wedding Singer, Billy
Everything
Madison.
ever. All at once, not that film.
every great film ever, yeah. Britt Lower from Severance and John Magaro, from September 5, The Big Short, Past Lives, and it's directed by, oh dear, Tolga Karaçelik.
Yeah, good enough.
Apologies. Yeah, it's like a squiggly thing under the C. I have no idea how to
Probably
do that
means
one.
Tesla or something, but yeah, you did fine.
There you go. I'm going to lead off this one. Psychotherapy is the name of the film. It's going to be online. Possibly the worst name you could have chosen for this film. Originally, it was just called A Shallow Tale About a Writer Who Decided to write about a serial killer, which is a great
I think
title
that's
for
a
a film.
better title. It does sound like one of the books written by what's his face, John Dies at the End, and all those titles.
Oh yeah.
David Wong.
That one.
Is it?
Yeah, David Wong. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, it does makes it more intriguing. With Psychotherapy, just sounds like a terrible 1990s Robert De Niro film where he's on his slide and paying off his tax bill.
Yeah, there's also nothing in the film itself to suggest that is the title, because what flashes up is the long title. So I don't know if it's just a UK name.
Change it for the. I think they've changed it for the general release over here. But yeah, it's a weird choice.
Yeah.
Someone in marketing needs to get sacked for that one.
Well, you know how like when was it Capcom originally released what we know as Resident Evil, it was originally called Biohazard, which actually makes way more sense in context of the game. But Resident Evil is a fucking great title. This is the opposite of that. They did it backwards.
Yeah, it certainly sums up the main gimmick of the film. So I think that's why they've gone with it. Yeah, so retired serial killer becomes a couples therapist, despite not knowing anything about the therapy. And despite actually doing a fairly decent job about figuring out what the actual issues the couple is, which, big spoiler.
Yes.
Yeah, so thoughts?
Yeah, I actually really like this. It's I wasn't quite sure the first sort of 10 or 15 minutes. I actually thought it was going in a very different direction. With Buscemi's character, I actually thought they were going to do the whole kind of Fight Club figment of the imagination type thing. Because initially, no one was actually engaging with him apart from Keane. But then that changes, obviously, and develops into the relationship counselor angle, which I like. I should point out as well, this isn't a horror per se. This is very much in the black comedy kind of genre for me.
Yeah, I put it down as a par down Coen Brothers
Very
film.
much so. It felt a lot like, particularly with Buscemi's kind of performance, it really felt like the death of Stalin, which I know is obviously what do you call it? Armando Iannucci's vehicle, yeah. But it had that kind of humour to it, and if you're into that sort of thing and you like Steve Buscemi doing Steve Buscemi things, I think it's a great film to watch for that, just for that black comedy aspect.
Yeah, very subtle and underplayed characters with quirky or annoying personalities that you either love or hate. Well, a lot of people hate this because it's like it's a quirky. I don't get the characters. I hate this guy.
Yeah,
and everyone liked Buscemi because he's a great character, and the fact that he doesn't say what he did, and you don't see it. You just have to trust him, which gives you the impression that he may be making it up and winging it.
But also, he does look,
which goes along with.
He does look a lot like Dennis Rader, which I feel is intentional. Who is also the only serial killer that we know of that did retire. He was caught, but he didn't actually kill again. He was caught for being a moron and sending a disc because he didn't think it could be traced back. But he hadn't actually killed again. He did stop. He's the only one, as far as I'm aware, that ever actually did. So I wonder if that's a little subtle nod to maybe it was like a Dennis Rader's kind of.
Yeah, it kind of goes with Keane. Though he's like he's also seems like he's winging it.
Yeah.
That pseudo intellectual who got lucky with his first book. He won an award for it 4 years previously, and now have to face up to the fact that he got lucky.
Yes.
He's not as smart as he makes out to be. He's not as Mongolian as he makes out to be as well. which again is one of those jokes. It's like
Well, it's,
you either get
yeah,
it
it
or you
makes
don't.
sense because it is the kind of selling your story rather than the story. But no one bought the book because it's a good book. They bought it because it's about a Mongolian guy, and you're trying to appear intellectual.
Yeah, it's doubtful anyone actually
No,
read it.
that's why everyone, every copy of like War and Peace, I think maybe 4% of them have ever actually been read. It's just something to have on the shelf so you look brainy.
I've read half of it.
I have read it. It's really long. It's a massive book, and it's a hard read. It's not bad. It's good, but it is a hard read.
Too many names in it.
Yeah, and they're Russian names as well, which is even harder.
Yeah, this is like the opposite of that. Like, it's three characters pretty much, and
It's very
sort
much
of
a
pared
play.
down.
It's got that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah. Again, like the outlandish, farcical nature of it, he just becomes a guidance counselor and you just go with it. It makes zero sense why he would be or she would accept
No,
him
it
as that,
doesn't.
but she goes with it. Yeah, the film just unravels from that point where Buscemi's Colmick teaching Keane how to be a serial killer and giving all the books, which are all very generic sounding
Yeah.
books, which lead to the thing of like whether he is actually a serial killer or he's just winging it
Mhm.
again. Or maybe he wants to be.
Possible, yeah.
Yeah, there's that kind of stuff. But then his wife sees those books and thinks he's trying to kill her, which gives the farcical thing of she follows them around and tries to figure out what they're doing, and it sort of escalates.
It does. Without giving anything away.
And then gets to the ending, which I won't go into spoilers because yeah, it doesn't get spoiled if
I
you
like the
watch
way
it.
it ended.
Yeah, I really like the way it did. I need to see more of these films where it gives you like an open
Yeah.
ending.
I was actually mentioning this the other day because we've been watching some other films, and like this film and another film we may talk about in the future. Both have the same thing. It's like so. I watched In the Heat of the Night recently. Sidney Poitier's Oscar-winning performance from the '60s, and I've also been watching some old Gene Hackman stuff recently. And what all of those movies, like particularly like French Connection, etc. What those movies do, which all movies did, but no movie does now particularly, is that they don't hold your hand. They don't really explain. Like either figure it out or fuck off. Essentially, like, there's a Gene Hackman movie called The Conversation. That movie is almost impenetrable. I had to watch it a couple of times because they just don't. There's no kind of what's the word? Exposition. Yeah, there's no like 7-minute exposition scene to explain this fairly minor plot point, which pops up in almost everything nowadays. Like most modern movies are very, very fond of long exposition scenes, which just annoy me. Whereas this psychotherapy or its long title doesn't really hold your hand. It's just like you just are along for the ride. It doesn't always make sense, frankly, but it's really I found it very enjoyable.
I think that's why I like it so much. It is the ending where it doesn't tell you what happened. You have to figure out what for yourself. And that's what I'm saying. I don't know Colmick whether he actually killed anybody. He's a serial killer. He wants to kill people. It's just people winging it and making stuff up to make themselves bigger than they actually are. And I like those open endings.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot.
I wanted to see more of it, want more of the characters, but also at the same time, I don't want any more. It's dead on that point of, cool, that ended. I watched it with Jane. She was very much like, and then what? I think she does have the thing of modern day films. It needs to be spelt out a little bit and explained a little bit. Because there is another film, we'll go into a couple of weeks down the line on the show where it was a case of all accepting of it for a reason. But when humans are doing certain things, it's like, why is that person doing this? Why is that person doing that? I'm like, just
Yeah.
go with it. It's like people are weird sometimes.
And it makes perfect
They
sense
can't always be explained.
later.
Yeah, it's just
It does make perfect sense later. But no, I liked the open ending of it. Anything with Buscemi is going to be worth a watch generally because he's always great, no matter what he's doing, even when he's being a schoolboy, like a high school kid. But there is one particular scene, without giving anything particularly away, there is one particular scene which I just found hilarious. And it's an inconsequential character that made me laugh the hardest because he's barely involved in it. And you'll know what I mean. It's the scene with the llama. And it's the guy looking after the llama. And there's no for any of it. And I found it absolutely fucking pant-wettedly hilarious. Because it's just the reaction of this character and what he's saying. It just doesn't make sense, but it's fucking incredibly funny. For me, anyway.
Yeah, again, it's the Coen Brothers.
Yeah,
like
very Coen Brothers.
Role, and they make them a full character rather than just being there for exposition, explaining stuff. They're there for a certain thing. They go, oh, we're going to go see this person. They give them the thing. There's a bit of a interaction between people. Something happens, but they make him a full character. Yeah. And the guy with the llama is like just there, but he's a full character, got his own backstory. You don't know what it is.
No, and he's only in the scene for like a minute, but he's almost my favourite character in the film.
Yeah, I think my favourite is Ada the cat.
Oh yeah, well that's its own thing. That's its own story to find out.
Again, not explained. It's not explained why Ada is like
that. No, and
way.
that's what I love.
It's just there. And yeah, so incredibly enjoyable. I would like to add this to my collection. Sadly, I think it's going to be one of those that is only available streaming.
No, that would be a shame. This is one I would actually buy. It's one of the few. And as you know, I don't own much physical media anymore. But this is one I would collect for sure. Like I'd steelbook this. Hopefully, it would have the full title on the steelbook though, rather than Psychotherapy, just because of the other reason is the actual art style of the because they do it in the credit scene. The art style of the title is like calligraphy style, almost Japanese calligraphy style, but in obviously Western alphabet. And I thought it looked amazing, like black on white background. It just looked great.
Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer, will be available on digital download in the UK from the 15th of September. Okay, where can we find you? Blah, 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 blah.
All the usual places, Blue Sky only. Don't do any other social media. Seems like a bad thing to do now that the American government's coming for us. So, keep it friendly, kids.
As always, you can find me at totalcockzone.com. I have a zine on there now with a bunch of stuff on it, including glossy artwork, which is uncensored. Reviews and movies, stuff that don't make the podcast, bits about comic books that I'm reading, life stories, cooking recipes, and links to social medias that I'm on. But I have to mediate what I say on them, because they're coming for us. totalcockzone.com. Spoiler zone. Spoiler zone. Spoiler zone needs its own
jingle.
Jingle. Jingle, jingle. Jingle, jangle. I mean, do we need spoilers? Do we go into it too much, or just?
Well, the fact that the only person who kills anyone is not involved in being a serial killer, which is a nice little twist.
Yeah, didn't see it coming. Absolutely hilarious when it
and
happens.
a real turnaround for me, because I started the movie really not liking her character at all, and ended it with her basically being my favourite. She's actually a really good character.
Yeah. Which award did she win last night for Severance?
I don't know. I genuinely, because I know everyone bangs on about it, so I've never actually watched it, and I didn't really know who she was. It was just she's a very distinct looking, with a very straight fringe, and she was styled in a very sort of austere sort of way, so she's got a quite distinct look. But I didn't know, and she plays up to that character in this as well, because that character is quite unemotional initially.
Yeah, Britt lower, except the Emmy for lead actress. For
Yeah, fair
Severance.
enough. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, well deserved.
Absolutely. And I think the Llama guy should have got an award for best supporting character because fucking potato, fucking potato, fucking potato, this fucking llama. And I just thought that was hilarious. There's no reason for any of it. All he said is you might want to feed it potatoes because it's from Peru. This is the whole fucking angry rant. I thought it was brilliant. But under his breath as well. Just furious for no reason whatsoever.